Casino, the hall here at Live. I'm Anne Arundel County Executive Stuart Pittman, and we are here to announce a weekend to prevent gun violence among the youth in Anne Arundel County. And this is something different. And I've got some partners that are with me here and in the audience who are doing work that is a little different than some of the things in the past. They're preventing loss of life. They're engaging young people in things that create hope and opportunity. And I have worked with these groups for the last 3, 4, 5 years even, and seen some amazing violence prevention happen. It's things that we don't hear about, we don't see. It happens in a coffee shop, or it happens on a basketball court, or it happens at Mead Village, or it happens in Annapolis. And this weekend that we're announcing, it's going to be March 9th and 10th, all day Saturday. We're going to be at the Severn Center, replicating, if anybody remembers, BET Teen Summit. And the host of that will actually be the host of this. And we'll be hearing from youth, 40 or more youth from Anne Arundel County, talking about their lives. And we're all going to be hearing things that we may not have heard before, and sharing stories, talking about anxiety and fear and some of the things that precede the violence that we read about in the paper. So we have organizations that are doing this work in Anne Arundel County that I'm very proud of. First of all, our health department, Anne Arundel County Department of Health, has a thing called the Gun Violence Intervention Team that we created a few years back. And we've got folks here from that. They are financial supporters of this weekend that is going to be taking place. And they have been working with a lot of these organizations. In Annapolis, we have the Cure Violence contract, the Cure Violence program that is being created with Kingdom Care and an organization called Glimpse of Paradise that is going to be working. But also in Annapolis, we have the No Harm program, and we have the mayor here who can talk about that. And then in the western part of the county here, near the casino, Mead Village, Pioneer City, Still Meadows, we've got an organization called Man Up that has been quietly working in communities. And then the organization that is really the host and the convener of this event is Chase Your Dreams Initiative. And it's associated with Tunnel Vision, which is a sports apparel company. Kyle Williams runs it. We've got Commissel Brown here, the artist, who's also involved in that. And they did a program a few years ago that brought in celebrities to the county around basketball primarily, a number of events. And that work before COVID has paid off and prevented violence since then. This weekend is far larger, far more engaging. It's going to take place at the Severn Center on Saturday, and then on Sunday we'll be at Mead High School, and we're going to have some celebrity basketball going on. And then we also have the partner in Live Casino. And, you know, I sat down for breakfast with Kyle and Commissel and Vincent Molden from our Community Engagement Constituent Services Office just a few weeks ago. And they made their pitch to me about what this weekend could do and what it meant. And I've got to say, this is the first time as county executive of Anne Arundel County that I have made a decision that I have to personally get involved in organizing an event like this. This is got so much potential and so important that I started getting on the phone and calling sponsors, and I actually convened a meeting in the basement of our office, our conference room, with the governor's office, with all county agencies, with some of the private sector partners, and Kyle and Commissel made their pitch there, and the electricity in the room was extraordinary. The potential of what this can do is extraordinary, and our goal is to prevent the violence before it happens. So I am going to bring up some of these folks and let them speak about the work, and we'll start with Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley.
Oh, this is a really exciting day. You know, a lot of people think Annapolis, a city like Annapolis, or the image of Annapolis, is a place that we don't have to deal with violence. They think it's a a place full of sailors wearing flag belts and salmon pants. But we're a city of extremes. We have extreme wealth right next door to extreme poverty. And around poverty, you can see when people feel hopeless, you can see things like violence, gun violence develop. So we need to show love to these communities, and this initiative that we're talking about today is a relatable initiative that kids can line up with, and they can come and see that people care. So having this event today on Valentine's Day, bringing love to Anne Arundel County, our county executive leading the charge here, amazing partners that care about all of the people that live in this city, not just the people that are wealthier, that have privilege. All of our city needs to understand, and all of our county needs to understand, that we are here trying to find solutions, and we are finding solutions. We are getting to the root of violence. We know what that is, but people need to understand that they have someone to turn to. And around us today and over there behind the cameras are people that are going to make a difference. We're going to get ahead of this. We're going to change things. We're going to save lives. And I want to thank you all for being here today. Thank you.
And now our main leader and speaker, Kyle Williams, who's the CEO of the sports apparel company Tunnel Vision and the leader of Chase Your Dreams Initiative.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, I want to thank the County Executive, Stuart Pittman, City of Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley, and I also want to thank Rob, Ed, and his team at Maryland Live Casino. When we came up with this idea, we wanted to be able to make an impact in our community for our youth and for the future. And when we took this idea to them, they were eager to step up. And I want you guys to understand how much that really means to us as the community, as we're on the ground, risking our lives doing the work that we're doing. Kingdom Care, Man Up, Annapolis All-Stars, No Harm. We're really going into the community with boots on the ground, making an impact that's really tough work. It's not always easy, but we do care about our community, right? And by partnering with us, sometimes it's not always easy doing the right thing, right? And when we talk about that and getting support from companies and leaders in your community to step up and be able to take on a financial burden like that, it showed us a lot with Maryland Live that they care about our community. Stuart Pittman, he cares about our community. Mayor Gavin Buckley cares about our community. And that's so important for the mission that we're trying to get done, because as we're moving forward with these initiatives and different things, we always need the support. And it works best when we can all collaborate and do this work together. I want to thank our sponsors, the health department has stepped in to chip in as well. City of Annapolis, No Harm, we want to mention them. M&T Bank, we also want to be able to shout out Maryland Live again for stepping up as the title sponsor on that. Let's give them a hand clap on that for stepping up last minute, for doing that. We want to thank Shore United Bank. We want to thank DTLR and the rest of our partners at Chase Your Dreams, our community members as well. The most important thing about this is we want to be able to create this Teen Summit panel to be able to hear from our youth, right? To understand what they're going through, to be able to receive information, listen to them with the open ear, with the intent to understand that we don't know everything. This is a new generation of youth that we're dealing with. They're not like when we grew up, right? Things are so different. Everything is social media influence. And what we wanted to do is reverse that, use the influence of the people that they're seeing on social media and sports and so forth, to have them come in and to be able to influence their minds and their thought from moving forward. We, the audience, as the organizations, we're going to take that information. This is not going to be the end to be all for moving forward. This is not going to be the event that ends gun violence as a whole, but we're going to take this information and the organizations, we're going to build on that and build initiatives for moving forward based upon what we heard. So we're all committed to doing the work. You out there, we do still need some help, right? We need some more sponsors. If you guys are listening out there, please step up, help us with this initiative. The funds that we raised from this weekend's event, we're donating back into charitable organizations that are going to continue to do the work. So your investment in us is an investment back into the community. So we want to thank everybody. The Teen Summit panel will be on March 9th Again, that's at the Severance Center. They'll go through different topics of conflict resolution, Stop the Bleed program. Children will learn how to stop the bleeding from a gunshot wound if they ever see that happen. They're going to get financial literacy. As we know, the wealth gap in Anne Arundel County still needs to be addressed in certain communities. And then on March the 10th, we are hosting the celebrity basketball game at Meade High School. It's hosted by Gillian Wallow, who have the top music podcast in the country right now on Apple Music. We have NFL Hall of Fame wide receiver Terrell Owens that's coming out. We have country, Grammy-nominated country singer Jimmy Allen. We have a bunch of different personalities and athletes coming out. It's going to be a great weekend. We want you guys to purchase your tickets. Come on out and support, because when you buy a ticket, you're supporting your community. The preliminary game is going to be Anne Arundel County Public School staff and students versus police and firefighters. So they're going to play a game in the preliminary game to be able to just build that unity and bridge that gap between law enforcement and our community, right? And we do want to give a shout out as well to Anne Arundel County Public Schools for stepping up, being a part of this, getting involved. Superintendent, we want to thank him, Dr. Burdell. We want to thank their whole team for getting involved. So again, we need your support. Downtown Locker Room, we just got a commitment from them this morning, stepping up after they saw what we're doing. We still need some help. So if you're a company out there and this is near and dear to your heart, it should be, right? I'm not trying to be funny, but our children have to be safe and be alive to grow up and spend money with your company, right? So let's invest in this. Let's take this serious, because we take it serious, all right? So I love y'all, and thank you for your support, and I'll pass it off to the next individual. Thank you.
And if Ryan Eller, General Manager of Live Casino, will come up and tell us why they're so supportive of this event, would be great.
Thank you. Good morning. My name's Ryan Eller. I'm the Executive Vice President and General Manager for Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. It's our honor to host this press conference and be the title sponsor of Anne Arundel County's Youth Gun Violence Prevention Weekend. We'd like to extend our sincerest thanks to County Executive Stuart Pittman, Mayor of Annapolis Gavin Buckley, Kyle Williams with the Chase Your Dreams initiative, which has put all this together and allowed us to bring all these interested parties together to support what is a very important initiative. So it's our privilege to support the county and the Chase Your Dreams initiative to help raise awareness and support efforts to reduce gun violence among teens and young adults in our local community. In addition to being in our backyard, Anne Arundel County is where so many of our team members and our guests actually live and work, which brings this cause really near and dear to our hearts. Through this partnership, we are dedicated to improving the lives of our youth and promoting the need to combat violence. And I'll say just personally, I think Kyle mentioned something along the lines of the Stop the Bleed initiative, right? So as a former Marine, I know a few things about the training and practical application of things like that. And it's a sad day where we have to apply those skills and train anyone in doing so in Anne Arundel County. So frankly, any small thing we can do, any financial support or bringing together and providing our resources to allow us to address this is well worth every cent. And I would hope, frankly, that no one in Anne Arundel County, certainly not our youth or teens, have to do anything along the lines of employing the skills that you would learn in Stop the Bleed. But it does provide a sobering perspective on the challenges that we face with regards to gun violence. And I'm frankly very proud to represent Live Casinos in making a small contribution to addressing that. So with that, I would like to thank you all for coming, and we are excited to see the positive impact that this year's Youth Gun Violence Prevention Weekend will undoubtedly have and extend well beyond just this weekend itself and to our community at large. And allow me to turn it back over to County Executive Stuart Pittman.
Thank you. So we're ready to take some questions, but there's one more thing that I want to note, which is that there's legislation that Governor Moore has brought to the General Assembly. We're going to be supporting that legislation. It's to create the Center for Gun Violence Prevention, for violence prevention. And one of the things that inspired me to do this was sitting down with the governor and his team at Glen Burnie High School recently and hearing from 16 youth. I talked about this in my weekly letter recently, and finding out just how little I understood and how little I knew and how important it was to hear directly from those young people. And so that is going to be happening at this. And the governor understands the importance of this event. His team is helping as well. We have not gotten word yet on his schedule, but I have visions of him slam dunking the ball and showing us that his basketball skills are as good as his football skills. But we'll see about that. But any questions? I'm going to let Kyle answer this because this is Kyle's event. We're just supporters.
Yes, ma'am. So that's a great question. So beyond the weekend, during the weekend, we're going to be collecting, taking surveys from the children that are involved, right, the youth that are involved. We're going to be collecting information and data that we're going to share with the county executive, with Mayor Gavin Buckley, with the organizations that we talked about. We'll be meeting post-event to talk about what we learned, to be able to put some action items together, and then to build programs from there that we'll be moving forward with, implementing in and throughout the communities in Anne Arundel County. So based upon the need and what we're here, we're going to create those programs. We're going to put the funds that are raised for during the weekend towards those programs, and then we're going to continue to do the work. So as I shared, it's not going to be a one-off event. This is something that we're going to continue to do, and we hope to meet quarterly after this to come up with different initiatives. And we're already doing that amongst ourselves with Man Up, Kingdom Care, Annapolis All-Stars, No Harm, the different organizations. The key to what we're doing in Anne Arundel County is collaborations. And when you have a county executive like Stuart Pittman who gets it and allows us to work together, and I want to commend you for that because you don't get enough credit as you should. When you stepped in, you made it very easy for organizations like ourselves to do the work that we can do. We're only doing the work based upon the community support grants and the things that you're doing, which is very important. So I want to give County Executive Stuart Pittman his flowers. I want to give Mayor Gavin Buckley his flowers. And again, I want to give Rob his flowers because without you stepping up at Maryland Live Casino, none of this would be possible. So thank you for being trailblazers and caring about our community, our youth, and making this a top priority because this is serious. We have to get out there. We have to be able to graduate with the times that we're in and get rid of the old ways of thinking and just be innovative with our approach. So we'll continue to do the work. We've been doing the work since 2020, right? Our community knows us. We're there every week. We're doing different things. So we're no stranger to being consistent.
How big of a problem? Well, in some ways, we're lucky that our numbers, our annual numbers, are lower than a lot of other jurisdictions. But we, I think it's 18 last year, plus not including Annapolis, and then there were how many in Annapolis last year?
The highest year.
Not 9 last year in Annapolis last year. So 18 plus 9 in the whole county. And that was a high number for Annapolis last year. But we are not only concerned about the actual deaths, we are concerned about the lives of young people who live in an environment of fear and anxiety. And we're concerned about groups that don't get along. I mean, we're looking for peace in the community. And one of the things that the Chase Your Dreams Initiative has been able to do, because they have actually organized a whole basketball league specifically designed to bring groups together who don't get along in the community and who sometimes resort to violence and often carry firearms, they have been able to prevent activities from taking place that we all knew could end badly. And so they have proven themselves in preventing the violence. And so we know that this will build trust. It will create connections among groups that don't get along, as well as connecting with leaders and role models that give kids, young people, a sense that there is a future, there are opportunities.
Yeah, so actually, on Saturday, we're going to start out with everybody arriving about 10:30. That event will be starting at 11 o'clock. Two of our headliners, one of which is Gilly from the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, and one of the hosts of the events that's coming in. He's going to be starting out with the story as his son was killed in Philadelphia about 6 months ago, lost his son to gun violence. They've been doing a lot of philanthropic work in and throughout the country, teaching young men and young women about how that experience has changed his life, what that has meant. We have a brother by the name of Pastor Carroll who lost his son to gun violence a few years ago that's going to be sharing his experience. And then we're going to be going through different panel discussions where we're going to be talking about what do you think about policy, you know, what policy they would like to see change that could make safer communities. We're going to talk about social media and the impact that it has on neighborhood issues and how they're interacting and engaging with one another in school. We learned from some of our youth from doing the community work that most of the violence starts from actual social media. I mean, how many of us know that at our age? So we need to be able to take the information to understand maybe we should be creating apps or different things to meet them where they are to try to get in front of these problems ahead of time. We're going to be focusing on conflict resolution, how we can build better relationship. We're going to be focusing on active response, right? Stop the bleed, we talked about that. We're going to be talking about different ways and methods to express themselves. We're going to have guidance counselors on hands for those who are scared or afraid to talk about their experience and they want to step off to the side and have that conversation with a professional. Not only are we talking to the individuals and the teens and so forth that are coming out, but we've invited the parents, right? So what we're understanding is that the work that we're doing with these children, whether it's 3, 4, 5 hours a day, that's great, right? But they're also going back home for the other 16 hours. You know, other parents reiterating what we're teaching them. You know, it's a contrasting action if when they're going back home, they're being taught totally the opposite different things, right? That you know, shifts the narratives for us. So we're going to focus on a lot of different aspects. They're going to be engaging as well as different panels that are going to be led by these celebrity athletes and so forth. We're going to have professionals there that are going to walk them through some different things. And then also they're going to have some fun. If you guys ever seen Teen Summit on BET back in the day, there was music performances, and then we hope that through this they can get some autographs from their favorite players and it could be engaging and a fun experience. And then we're also going to give them incentives to come out, to participate, to be engaged. So we hope they can take a lot from this event. We're going to take a lot from it, but they're going to have fun and just have a good time, but also make sure that they know we're here for them and we have the resources available.
Well, I'll say that Kyle is absolutely right, that we have to create tools and the right people to be having those conversations. And so there's a trust issue. And if they don't trust the adults or the folks that are offering them alternative things to do, whether it's the school system, the police department, county government, county agencies, then it doesn't happen. And so it's partly about who the messenger is, I believe.
Yeah, and I'd like to step in. I think also to answer your question, I think there's a lack of knowledge in certain communities, right? Not understanding the resources that are there, not being exposed to different methods as their superiors to understand the routes that they can take to be able to be successful. I think that what we've been doing as well, along with the sports side and the different things that we've been doing, we've been teaching the children in communities about entrepreneurship, trades, different methods of building a career. So a lot of them understand that they may not go to college, they may not qualify for a certain job, but one thing I can say is a lot of times when we're coming across the teens and the youth that are deemed as bad, when we get them into our programs and are teaching them about trades, teaching them how to build their own brand or manufacture, do their own clothing line. Once they learn that they can actually have real careers doing stuff like that, man, they light up. They get a new sense of hope. They see people such as ourselves, role models in the community that are doing things that they want to do. And that's what this event and this weekend is about, is showing them positive role models that are doing things that they believe is not possible, and it is possible. And we come from neighborhoods that you come from. We look like you. If I don't look like you, somebody else on our team does, right? And we're just showing them that through exposure and getting them outside of their communities, that it's a big old wide world where they can chase their dreams and become successful in whatever it is that they do. You can buy tickets online, so you can go to www.chaseyourdreamsinc, that's INC.org. We have a gun violence prevention landing page. It has all of the links to the event. You can go to our Eventbrite as well, which is on that page. You can also go to www.thetunnelvision.com. That's the, T-H-E, tunnel, T-U-N-N-E-L, vision, V-I-S-I-O-N.com. And again, I'll spell out the